The Helios directive hummed beneath Captain Sarah Chen's feet as she stood on the bridge, watching the vast emptiness of space through the main viewport. Their latest jump had taken them further than any human vessel had gone before, nearly 50 light-years beyond the edge of explored space. The ship's revolutionary wavefront drive had performed flawlessly, proving once again that humanity's unconventional approach to physics could yield remarkable results. "Captain," Lieutenant Rodriguez called from his sensor station, his voice tight with tension. "We're picking up something big. Multiple signatures, approaching at FTL velocities." Sarah's fingers tightened on the rail. First contact protocols had been drilled into every deep space crew since humanity reached for the stars, but something about this felt wrong. The signatures were too coordinated, too purposeful. "Full defensive posture," she ordered. "But keep weapons cold. We're explorers, not aggressors." The massive vessels that dropped out of FTL around them looked nothing like the theoretical designs Earth's sinologists had predicted. They were perfect spheres, their surfaces rippling with what appeared to be liquid metal, each easily dwarfing the Helios directive by a factor of 10. "We're being hailed," Communications Officer Maya Patel announced. "Multiple frequencies, extremely sophisticated encryption. The computer's barely keeping up with the translation matrices." "Put it through." The holographic display materialized in the center of the bridge, revealing a being that defied easy description. Its form shifted between states of matter, yet somehow maintained a vaguely humanoid shape. "Quarantine violators," it spoke, its voice resonating directly in their minds rather than through the ship's speakers. "You have entered restricted space. Your species was not meant to achieve faster than light travel for another 300 cycles. This is unfortunate." Sarah stepped forward, her training kicking in despite the otherworldly nature of their visitors. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the Earth vessel Helios Directive. We come in peace and seek diplomatic contact." "Peace," the being's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "You cannot comprehend peace. Your species remains classified as Development Stage 3, prone to violence, tribalism, and dangerous technological acceleration. The Galactic Council's quarantine protocols are absolute." The tension on the bridge thickened. Sarah could feel her crew's anxiety, but also their determination. They'd known they might find advanced civilizations out here, but no one had expected to find out humanity had been deliberately contained. "With respect," Sarah replied, choosing her words carefully, "any species capable of reaching the stars has also overcome many of its primitive instincts. We've unified our planet, eliminated poverty, and developed technologies that work in harmony with natural laws rather than against them." "Your wavefront drive," the being stated. "Yes, we detected its signature. Crude, yet interesting. You've somehow achieved faster than light travel without manipulating quantum fields. This alone proves your dangerous unpredictability." Multiple alerts blared across the bridge as the alien vessels began generating massive energy fields. "They're attempting to establish a containment grid," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. "If they complete it, we won't be able to jump out." Sarah's mind raced. Her ship carried technologies that represented humanity's greatest achievements, achievements apparently reached in ways the Galactic Council hadn't predicted or understood. The wavefront drive didn't bend space or manipulate quantum fields. It rode the universe's natural waves like an ancient sailing ship catching the wind. "Council representative," she addressed the shifting being. "Before you take action, consider this. A species that can surprise you might also be able to contribute perspectives your civilization has forgotten. We don't seek to disrupt your order. We seek to enhance it." The energy readings spiked. "Your containment has been ordered by beings who have guided galactic civilization for millions of years. You cannot negotiate with natural law." Actually, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Negotiating with natural law is exactly what humanity does best. "Maya, send them the physics package." The data burst contained humanity's complete understanding of wavefront theory, not as a threat, but as a demonstration. The alien vessel's energy fields flickered as they processed the information. Impossible. The beams formed, destabilized momentarily. You've achieved faster than light travel by sailing through space-time itself. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the ones advanced civilizations overlook, Sarah said. We don't try to bend the universe to our will. We learn its rhythms and work with them. The containment grid wavered. Sarah could almost feel the beings communicating among themselves, reevaluating centuries of assumptions about technological progression. This changes nothing, the representative finally declared, but there was uncertainty in its mental voice. You will be escorted back to your solar system. The quarantine will be reinforced. Sarah straightened her uniform. You can try, but humanity has already learned to sail the cosmic seas. You can build all the walls you want, but you can't calm the waves themselves. The choice you face isn't whether to contain us, it's whether to work with us or against us. As if to emphasize her point, the Helios directive's wavefront drive began its distinctive harmonic resonance, not charging for a jump, but demonstrating the beautiful synchronicity between human innovation and universal law. The alien vessel's containment grid collapsed completely. The Council must be informed of this development. The being conceded. You will remain here while we consult. Sarah nodded to her crew, seeing the pride in their eyes. Humanity had just proven itself not through superior firepower or advanced technology, but by showing the galaxy's eldest civilizations that there was still something new to learn. The first shot in humanity's fight for recognition hadn't been fired from a weapon. It had been launched with an idea, sailing on the waves of space-time itself, carried by the wind of human ingenuity. The quarantine beacons stretched across Earth's solar system like a web of artificial stars, each one a testament to the Galactic Council's determination to contain humanity. Admiral John watched them through the Orbital Command's viewing deck, his weathered face reflecting in the reinforced glass. They'd finished their containment grid, General Lakshmi reported, her hologram flickering beside him. But they still haven't detected Project Undercurrent, because they're still looking for what they expect to see, John replied, allowing himself a brief smile. How many ships are ready? 300 vessels, hidden in plain sight. The Helios directive's encounter gave us everything we needed to perfect the technology. Every ship in the Silent Fleet now runs on pure wave theory. Below them, Earth gleamed like a jewel, its cities transformed by the last decade of technological revolution. The Council's quarantine had been meant to contain humanity. Instead, it had inspired them. Show me, John commanded. The massive display behind them lit up with a real-time view of lunar orbit. To conventional sensors, the space appeared empty. But as Lakshmi adjusted the wavelength filters, shadows began to appear, ships unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. The Silent Fleet didn't show up on quantum scanners because it didn't use quantum technology. Each vessel was essentially a massive wave generator designed to synchronize with the fundamental vibrations of spacetime itself. They were ships that sailed on the music of the universe. The Council's watching every quantum fluctuation, every hyperspace distortion. Lakshmi continued, but they're not watching for ripples in spacetime because they don't believe it's possible to harness them. Their technology evolved past this point millions of years ago. Sometimes, John quoted, the most advanced solution is remembering what others have forgotten. It had become humanity's unofficial motto since the quarantine began. The command center's doors slid open as Dr. Elena Santos hurried in, her excitement visible despite her professional demeanor. Admiral, you need to see this. We've finished analyzing the Council's containment field. Her hands danced across the control panel, bringing up a complex mathematical model. Their entire quarantine system operates on quantum principles, extremely advanced ones, but it has a fundamental flaw they don't even realize exists. They'd forgotten how to see the simple patterns, John nodded, just like with the wavefront drive. Exactly. Their quantum barrier is perfect against quantum technologies. But to our ships, Elena's eyes sparkled. It might as well be trying to stop light with a fishing net. Warning signals flashed across the command displays. Speaking of the Council, Lakshmi's hologram shifted. We've got movement. Their sentinel ships are adjusting their patrol patterns. Zhang studied the tactical overlay. The Council vessels moved with perfect precision, their formations calculated by computers that had been refining strategic algorithms since before humans invented the wheel. But there was something almost arrogant in their efficiency, an assumption that their technological superiority made them invincible. They're not even bothering to watch for conventional propulsion systems, he observed. Their arrogance has become their blindness. Sir, Elena interjected, the silent fleet isn't just undetectable to their sensors. According to these calculations, the wave harmonics our ships generate could actually disrupt their quantum technologies. The more they rely on advanced systems, the more vulnerable they are to the basics, Zhang finished. Like trying to run quantum computations in an earthquake. The implications hung in the air. Humanity had spent a decade preparing not just to break free of the quarantine, but to challenge the very foundations of galactic technological orthodoxy. Begin final preparations, Zhang ordered. I want the silent fleet ready to move within 48 hours. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity isn't just another species to be contained and catalogued. As his officers acknowledged the command, Zhang returned his gaze to the quarantine beacons. Their light seemed less threatening now, more like stars marking a path to humanity's future. Send word to every ship captain, he added. When we launch, we're not just fighting for our freedom. We're fighting to prove that sometimes the path forward requires a step back, to remember what the rest of the galaxy has forgotten. In lunar orbit, the silent fleet waited, invisible to the most advanced sensors ever created. 300 ships, ready to sail on waves that the Council's quantum computers couldn't even detect, carrying humanity's revolution to the stars. They weren't just ships, they were a statement. In trying to contain humanity, the Galactic Council had forced them to innovate in ways that bypassed millions of years of technological evolution. They had made humanity remember the fundamental forces that the advanced species had abandoned in their race to quantum supremacy. Now, as the Council's sentinel ships patrolled their perfect quarantine grid, humanity prepared to demonstrate an ancient truth. Sometimes the simplest solutions were the most powerful. And the galaxy was about to learn that lesson the hard way. The silent fleet materialized from the waves of space-time like ghostly leviathans, breaching the surface of a cosmic ocean. To the Council's quantum sensors, the space around Earth remained empty. But to the naked eye, an observation method the advanced species had long abandoned, humanity's armada was impossible to miss. Captain Maya Patel, now commanding the flagship Archimedes, watched the Council's reaction unfold through old-fashioned optical telescopes. Their sentinel ships maintained their perfect formation, quantum computers still scanning for threats they couldn't comprehend. 3 minutes until they enter our wave disruption field, her XO, Commander James Chen, reported. Still no sign they've detected us. Maya nodded, remembering her time as communications officer on the Helios Directive. Send the message. Let's see if they're willing to talk before we demonstrate our capabilities. The transmission went out on all frequencies, carried by conventional radio waves. Another technology the Council considered primitive. Attention Council vessels. This is Captain Maya Patel of the Earth Defense Force. Your quarantine of humanity ends today. We request peaceful dialogue. The response was immediate. The Council ship's liquid metal surfaces rippled as weapon ports appeared, their quantum armaments charging with impossible energies. A familiar mental voice resonated through the bridge. Deception. Impossible. Our sensors detect no vessels. Look out your windows, Maya suggested mildly. Sometimes the oldest methods are still useful. A pause. Then chaos erupted across the Council fleet as visual confirmation finally registered. Their perfect formation dissolved into emergency maneuvers, quantum drives flaring as they attempted to establish firing solutions on targets their computers insisted didn't exist. Wave disruption field in range, Chen announced. Ready on your order. Maya took a deep breath. Begin the symphony. The silent fleet's wave generators activated in perfect harmony, each ship adding its voice to a cosmic chorus the human scientists had spent years perfecting. They weren't just generating waves in space-time. They were creating music with the fundamental forces of the universe. The effect on the Council ships was immediate and devastating. Their quantum systems, dependent on precise calculations and perfect stability, began to fail as reality itself seemed to ripple around them. It was like trying to perform brain surgery during an earthquake. Their weapons are offline, Tactical reported with barely contained excitement. Quantum drives are destabilizing. They can't maintain their liquid metal forms. Maya watched as the mighty Council vessels began to drift, their sophisticated technology rendered useless by principles so basic they'd forgotten they existed. But she took no pleasure in their vulnerability. "This is Captain Patel to all Council vessels," she broadcast again. "We have no desire for destruction. Our wave generators can disable your ships, but they cannot destroy them. We offer terms." The Council ships hung in space, their liquid metal surfaces now frozen in crystalline patterns. When the mental voice came again, it carried something new: uncertainty. "You have weaponized space-time itself." "No," Maya corrected. "We've learned to work with it. Your quantum technology tries to force the universe to obey. Ours asks it to dance." As if to emphasize her point, the silent fleet began to move in perfect formation, riding the waves they generated like ancient sailing ships catching the wind. Each maneuver was a demonstration of grace rather than power. The quarantine was meant to prevent primitive species from endangering galactic civilization, the Council voice argued, but with less conviction. "Your technology, it defies all established progression models." "Because you forgot that progress isn't always linear," Maya replied. "Sometimes you have to step back to move forward. Humanity didn't try to match your quantum technology. We found our own path." Through the viewport, she could see more Council ships arriving at the edge of the system, drawn by the disruption of their quarantine grid. But they held position, watching, learning. "We don't want war," Maya continued. "We want recognition, partnership. The galaxy needs both types of technology, the quantum and the wave. Imagine what we could achieve together." The silence that followed stretched for long moments, broken only by the subtle harmonic resonance of the silent fleet's wave generators. Finally, the Council voice returned, carrying a tone that might have been respect. "The Galactic Council has not faced such a paradigm shift in 50,000 years. You will present your case. We will listen." Maya smiled, thinking of how far humanity had come since that first encounter with the Helios Directive. "That's all we ask. Because in the end, the greatest technology isn't about power or control. It's about understanding. And sometimes the student becomes the teacher." Around them, the waves of space-time continued their eternal dance, carrying humanity's message to the stars. The future belongs not to those who force their will upon the universe, but to those who learn to move in harmony with it. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council stretched a kilometer into space, its quantum crystalline walls shifting between dimensions in a display of technological supremacy. But today, that display seemed somehow diminished as Ambassador Elena Santos walked its length, her simple wave harmonic suit drawing curious stares from the assembled species. The Council members floated in their energy fields, beings of pure thought, crystalline entities, and forms that defied human comprehension. Yet their attention focused entirely on the solid flesh and blood human before them. "You propose to fundamentally alter the structure of galactic civilization." The High Speaker's thoughts resonated through the chamber. Its form rippled with colors humans had no words for, based on primitive principles. Elena smiled, activating the wave harmonic projector she'd brought. The device used no quantum technology, yet the image it created, a perfect model of galaxy-wide wave patterns, drew gasps of astonishment. With respect, High Speaker, there's nothing primitive about understanding the fundamentals. Your quantum technology is remarkable, but it fights against the universe's natural flow. Ours works with it. From her position, Elena could see the various council factions shifting, forming alliances and oppositions in real time. The crystalline collective glowed with interest, while the energy beings pulsed with skepticism. The human makes an intriguing point, the crystalline elder chimed, its facets refracting light in complex patterns. Our own records show that before we achieved quantum mastery, we had begun exploring wave harmonics. We abandoned that research as obsolete. Perhaps, rumbled the Void Walker representative, its dark form absorbing nearby light. That was a mistake. Our quantum systems are powerful, but vulnerable to wave disruption. The humans have exposed a critical weakness in our civilization's technological foundation. The chamber erupted in mental debate, thoughts clashing like lightning. Elena waited patiently, remembering Admiral Zhang's words, "Let them argue. Sometimes the best way to win is to let others convince themselves." You speak of partnership. The High Speaker's thoughts cut through the chaos. Yet your fleet remains deployed, your wave generators active. Some would call this coercion. We call it insurance, Elena replied calmly. The silent fleet protects Earth not through destruction, but through harmony. We've proven we can disable your quantum technology without causing harm. We've also proven we can enhance it. She gestured, and the wave harmonic projection shifted, showing how wave technology could stabilize quantum fields, making them more efficient. Imagine quantum computers running on wave-stabilized foundations. Imagine ships that could use both technologies, becoming more than the sum of their parts. The crystalline elder's light patterns intensified. The human speaks truth. Our preliminary studies of their wave technology suggest possibilities we had never considered. Applications that could revolutionize even our most advanced systems. And that, the energy being representative pulsed darkly, is precisely why they are dangerous. Their primitive approach threatens millions of years of technological progress. Elena felt the chamber's mood shifting, teetering between fear and fascination. It was time for humanity's final gambit. Progress isn't a straight line, she said, her voice carrying clearly through the vast space. The most advanced civilizations are those that can embrace multiple paths to the same goal. Humanity doesn't seek to replace quantum technology. We seek to complement it. She activated another function of her suit, generating a localized wave field that actually stabilized the quantum fluctuations around her. The effect was subtle but unmistakable. The council members' own energy fields became more coherent, more controlled. We offer not just technology, but perspective. The galaxy faces challenges that quantum technology alone cannot solve. The recent void storms in the Carina Arm, the quantum cascade failures in the Orion Spur. These are problems that require a fundamental understanding of spacetime itself. The High Speaker's form stabilized, its thoughts becoming more focused. You are not what we expected, Ambassador Santos. When we quarantined Earth, we thought we were containing a primitive violent species. Instead, we may have inadvertently cultivated something unique. Necessity breeds innovation, Elena replied. Your quarantine forced us to think differently, to remember principles that the rush toward quantum technology had left behind. We had to learn to sail the cosmic seas because you blocked all other paths to the stars. The chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. The council had tried to contain humanity, but in doing so, they had created exactly what the galaxy needed. A species that could bridge the gap between the fundamental and the advanced, between the wave and the quantum. We will need time to consider the full implications, the High Speaker announced. But perhaps the quarantine has served its purpose, not in containing humanity, but in helping it become something extraordinary. Elena bowed slightly, hiding her satisfaction. The battle wasn't over. There would be resistance, political maneuvering, attempts to limit human influence. But the door was open, and once opened, some doors could never be closed again. As she left the chamber, she sent a coded wave transmission to the silent fleet. Phase 1 complete. The galaxy is about to remember what it means to sail among the stars. The void storm towered before the combined fleet like a wall of twisted spacetime, its quantum distortions threatening to tear apart an entire sector of the galaxy. Council ships hung back, their advanced sensors overwhelmed by the chaos, while the silent fleet moved forward in perfect formation. Admiral Sarah Chen, now commanding the Joint Human Council Task Force from the bridge of the newly commissioned Harmony, watched the storm's patterns through both quantum displays and wave harmonic sensors. The contrast was striking. "Quantum readings are completely scrambled," reported Khazar, her council liaison, its crystalline form vibrating with concern. "The storm is consuming every probe we launch. Even our most advanced calculations cannot predict its behavior." Sarah smiled, remembering a similar conversation from years ago. "That's because you're trying to predict chaos. We're going to ride it instead." A Harmony represented everything humanity had fought for over the past decade. A perfect fusion of quantum and wave technology. It thrummed with both the crystalline power of council science and the subtle resonance of human wave generators. "All ships assume wave-following formation," Sarah commanded. "Council vessels, maintain quantum field integrity, but allow our wave guides to direct your movements. We're not fighting this storm. We're going to dance with it." The silent fleet began generating carefully calculated wave patterns, creating paths of stability through the quantum chaos. Council ships, guided by human wave pilots, fell into position behind them. It was a sight that would have been impossible just months ago. The galaxy's most advanced civilization following humanity's lead. "Storm boundary in 30 seconds, Lieutenant Rodriguez announced from his station. "Wave harmonics at optimal frequency. We're as ready as we'll ever be." Sarah took a moment to appreciate the irony. The Council had quarantined humanity for being too primitive, too unpredictable. Now those same qualities were about to save thousands of worlds from destruction. "Begin the symphony," she ordered. The combined fleet moved as one, each ship adding its voice to a cosmic chorus that cut through the storm's chaos. Wave generators created paths of stability, while quantum systems reinforced them, the two technologies working in perfect harmony for the first time in galactic history. Through the viewport, Sarah watched reality itself seem to bend and flow around them. The storm raged, but wherever the fleet's wave patterns touched, order emerged from chaos. They weren't forcing the universe to obey. They were asking it to cooperate. "Remarkable," Khazar whispered, its crystalline features reflecting the storm's light. "In all our millennia of advancement, we never considered simply listening to the universe's rhythm." "Sometimes the most advanced civilizations are the ones who remember how to be simple," Sarah replied, quoting the phrase that had become humanity's gift to the galaxy. The fleet pressed deeper into the storm, their combined technologies creating an expanding sphere of stability. Behind them, automated wave buoys marked their path, establishing safe corridors through the chaos. "We're approaching the storm's core," Rodriguez reported. "Quantum readings are—" "Wait." He paused, adjusting his instruments. "Admiral, you need to see this." The main display shifted, showing the storm's structure through both quantum and wave sensors. The pattern that emerged was beautiful in its simplicity. The entire phenomenon was a natural oscillation in spacetime, amplified by quantum technology, until it became destructive. "It's not a storm at all," Sarah realized. "It's the universe trying to restore balance. Our quantum technology has been forcing spacetime to bend so long that it's finally pushing back." Khazar's crystalline form pulsed with understanding. "And your wave technology lets us work with that push instead of against it," Sarah finished. "Signal the fleet. All ships, prepare for full harmonic resolution." The combined fleet moved into its final formation, resembling nothing so much as an ancient sailing squadron preparing to tack into the wind. Every ship, human and council alike, activated their wave generators at precisely calculated frequencies. The effect was beyond even their most optimistic predictions. The storm's quantum chaos began to settle into natural patterns, like a river finding its proper course. Where force had failed, harmony succeeded. "Send the data to Council Scientific Command," Sarah ordered. "They need to understand. This isn't just about saving one sector. This is about changing how we approach our entire relationship with space-time." As the storm dissipated around them, Sarah felt the weight of the moment. Humanity had proven itself not by developing more advanced technology, but by remembering what the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. Sometimes the path forward requires a step back. "The Council will want to study this for centuries," Khazar observed, its tone carrying both respect and amusement. "They're welcome to," Sarah replied, watching the last quantum distortions fade into normal space. "But first, I suggest they learn something even more fundamental." "Oh," she smiled, thinking of ancient sailors who had mastered the seas by understanding rather than conquering them. "They need to learn how to sail." The combined fleet hung in now peaceful space, their achievement visible in the stark difference between sensor readings from an hour ago and now. They had faced the galaxy's chaos not with greater force, but with greater understanding. It was humanity's final vindication and greatest gift to the stars. The reminder that true advancement sometimes means remembering what others have forgotten. In trying to contain humanity, the Council had instead unleashed exactly what the galaxy needed: a species that could bridge the gap between the fundamental and the advanced, between the wave and the quantum, between the past and the future. The stars stretched out before them, now filled with not just possibility, but harmony.